The scratching started the moment I turned off the lights. It came from beneath the floor, slow, deliberate, as if something was measuring the space between my breaths. When the sound stopped, I realized the silence was listening back. I moved into the old house because it was cheap and far from people. The realtor warned me about the noises, but said all old houses talk. This house did not talk. It waited. The floors were thick oak boards, scarred by time and stained darker near the walls. At night, they felt warm under my feet, like skin. The first week passed quietly. Then the scratching returned every night at exactly 3. Not frantic, not random. Always 3 slow drags, then a pause. I lay awake, counting heartbeats until dawn. One night, I pressed my ear to the floor. I heard breathing. It was faint, but close, wet and patient. The smell of damp earth seeped up through the cracks, carrying a hint of rot. I backed away and told myself it was pipes, settling, or animals in the crawl space. Lies sounded safer in the dark. The next morning, I found marks between the boards. Thin black lines where something had forced itself upward. I covered them with a rug. That night, the scratching moved closer to my bed. Sleep became impossible. Shadows pooled under furniture, thicker than darkness should allow. My dreams filled with hands, pushing through wood and mouths opening where nails should be. I woke coughing with blood on my pillow. I called a repairman. He crawled under the house and came back, pale, shaking his head. He said the crawl space was sealed years ago. He said there was no entrance. He said something had been scratching from the inside of the wood. That night, the house went silent. No wind, no insects, no distant cars. Silence pressed against my ears until they rang. Then I heard a voice beneath the floorboards whispering my name. It sounded like me, but older, stretched thin by hunger. I ripped up the rug and pried at a board with a crowbar. The wood came free to easily. Beneath it was darkness deeper than a crawl space should be. The smell of blood rushed out, warm and metallic. Eyes opened in the dark, dozens of them, human and not, blinking slowly, reflecting my face back at me. Fingers slid up between the boards, bending wrong joints, popping quietly. A mouth followed, opening wide enough to split its face. Blood poured from it onto the wood, stumbled back as the floor flexed like a chest, inhaling. The boards around me shifted, lifting and dropping like teeth. Hands grabbed my ankles, pulling me down. I screamed, but the sound died inside the room, swallowed by the wood. Figures rose from beneath the floor. Pale bodies, twisted and broken, as if assembled without care. Some more fragments of clothing from different decades. Their mouths leaked blood, constantly dripping back into the darkness below. Their eyes were empty, but focused entirely on me. One crawled close, dragging itself by its arms. It whispered that the house was built over a place where silence gathered. It said people who listened too long were taken below. It said, they became the quiet. The floor split open. I fell into a narrow space beneath the house that stretched impossibly deep. The walls were packed earth and old bones pressed together. Faces pushed out of the dirt, screaming silently. Blood flowed like water along grooves worn smooth by time. I landed hard, surrounded by bodies, tangled together, their limbs fused by roots and nails. They twitched as one mass, breathing in unison. Above me, the opening closed ceiling outlined. Something moved in the dark, shape detached from the wall, tall, thin, wearing the house like a skin. Its face was a smooth mask with a single mouth that never closed. Blood poured endlessly from it, soaking the ground. When it spoke, the sound vibrated through my bones. It said, the house fed on sound, on voices, on the noise of living. It said, silence beneath the floorboards was never empty. It was full. The mass of bodies grabbed me, pulling me toward the thing. Its hand covered my mouth, forcing silence. Memories drained away with each touch, moments of laughter, music, footsteps fading into nothing. I fought and bit and screamed until blood filled my throat. The thing leaned close and pressed its mouth to my ear. It whispered that one voice must remain above to call others in. It opened its chest and showed a hollow space shaped like a person. Pain tore through me as the world flipped. I woke in my bed at dawn sunlight streaming through the window. The house was quiet, normal, peaceful. The floorboards were intact. No marks, no smell. My throat burned as if I had been screaming all night. Days passed. The scratching never returned. Silence became complete and comforting. Too comforting. Friends visited and commented on how quiet the house felt. They laughed nervously. I smiled and invited them to stay the night. Sometimes when the lights go out, I feel warmth under my feet. Sometimes I hear breathing beneath the floorboards, not hungry anymore, but satisfied. The silence beneath the floorboards is growing, and it needs new voices. If you enjoyed the story, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.